Pope reveals that the Bible is not the whole story, not just Pope Francis, but also Pope John Paul II. Those of us who have seriously looked into the work of Zecharia Sitchin are well aware of the claim that the book of Genesis is nothing more than a summarized, edited version of ancient Sumerian legends. There is a much bigger story behind the creation of man than what the Church has been telling us for centuries. In a 1986 address with little fanfare, Pope John Paul II seems to be addressing this very issue. The reference to the primacy of Christ helps us to understand that the truth about the existence and activity of the angels, good and bad, is not the central content of the Word of God. The truth about the angels is in a certain sense collateral, though inseparable from central revelation. They are superior to all that is created in the visible world, including man. Pope John Paul II. Now, what exactly was the Pope getting at here? The address is speaking about the creator of all things, seen and unseen. Could this be the same creator of all, mentioned in Sumerian legend? The tales recount the creation of man with stunning parallels to Genesis, but with much more detailed information. Adam, or Adamu, was genetically engineered by space aliens to be a slave race. The Anunnaki came to Earth hundreds of thousands of years ago to mine for gold, but their workers, as workers do, on occasion rebelled. As a solution to the problem, the genetic scientist called Enki was authorized to splice their alien DNA with the DNA of an ape-like creature they found living in Africa, Homo erectus. Enki was furious when he found out that his brother Enlil was working his creation, his masterpiece, mankind, to death, so he imparted the forbidden knowledge of the gods to us. And for this, he was demonized by his brother, and the humans that used this knowledge were cast out into the wilderness. And so the wars began, wars which continue to this day. Throughout history, Enki himself has found descendants of the castaways living in the wild, and has descended upon them to teach them language, agriculture, mathematics, architecture, etc. From the Mayans to the Chinese, countless cultures attribute the beginning of their civilization to a mysterious god that came down from the sky and taught them everything they knew and then left. Initially, Enlil despised our creation. This is why he ordered that no human be warned about the impending disaster. Cosmic events were about to cause a worldwide flood. Enki defied these orders and instructed his hybrid son, Sudra, or Noah, to build the ark. After witnessing the destruction and calamity from his spaceship, Enlil had a change of heart. He then decided that as their creation, he could not allow us to destroy ourselves. We were to be cared for as offspring, not herded as cattle, until the long-awaited day would come when we could stand on our own. Considering current events, I would say the descendants of those gods in power today are ready for us to be treated as adults, to be given what we ask for, whether we want it or not. As fascinating and revealing as the story is, what stands out to me the most is that these gods had a god of their own, the creator of all, as revealed through a mysterious spiritual journey, a spiritual being called Galzu. They did not understand this mystical force that created and sustains the universe either. They also turned to mystics and followed astrology to determine where they stood in relation to both fate and destiny. They pondered the very same questions we ponder today. Many of the wars waged in ancient times were between the houses of Marduk, that's Enki's son, and Inanna, granddaughter of Enlil. Both vied for rule of the entire planet, but when Marduk's city Babylon was spared from the fallout from the nuclear weapons used on his forces in Canaan, while all of the rest of Sumer was decimated, the Anunnaki decided it was the will of the creator of all for Marduk to inherit the earth. Presuming this decision is still in effect, this would be the powers that have been, who have operated through the principles of deception, divide and rule, chaos, brainwashing, fear-mongering, and even religion. Now, although these demons have done all they can to prevent us from waking up from their spells, Our cries for help have not gone unanswered. 2,000 years ago, the creator of all inspired a descendant of both Enlil and Enki named Joshua to tell us the truth and empower us and overthrow our insidious dark overlords. These teachings were edited and distorted to suit the needs of said demons, the distortions becoming the very foundation of what we consider Christianity today. This is what is inferred here. While the basic understanding of what Jesus wanted to tell us can be found in the Sermon on the Mount, there are far more insights and revelations which cannot be found in canonized text. In fact, compelling evidence is outlined in the book, The Gods of Eden, that the book of Revelation says that John was abducted and drugged by non-human entities, shown an apocalyptic outcome of the events that would transpire when the Anunnaki return. This is nothing more than propaganda. Their intent is to keep us confused and ignorant so that if they make it appear the Anunnaki are returning, we will submit to their will in order to protect our continued existence. We know that man enjoys a unique position within the sphere of creation, but his body, this belongs to the visible world, while with his spiritual soul, which vivifies the body, he is, as it were, on the boundary between the visible and invisible creation. The Pope's words here reveal an important distinction. While our bodies may have been genetically engineered by spacemen and are the property of their descendants, our immortal souls which animate them are the product of the Creator of all. This statement is in line with what Jesus said in the so-called Gnostic Gospels, which the Church banned and tried to destroy in 325 AD. When determining ownership of our souls, our founding fathers could not have said it better. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration of Independence writes this. This statement to the royals of England and the fallen that prop them up is a statement any true follower of the creation of all will repeat to any being who wishes to rule over them. Any being which operates on deception or coercement is not in harmony with the Creator and will be responsible for the actions when their destiny and their fate converge. Our immortal soul is the source of your power. No one, from space aliens to clergy to kings to presidents, can take that power away from you. It's yours to surrender and it's yours to reclaim. Our Creator instilled within you the power to create yourself, your life, your body, your possessions, your situations. All of these are at your command. Armed with the understanding that the Creator values life above all, Jesus gave us wonderful instructions as to how we command these things and what we should do with this power to better ourselves and each other. What we've been told of his message is incomplete. Parts of what he said have even been demonized by the Church, which proclaims to be his. The parts that were left out are what you came here to proclaim to your world. Please don't take my word for it. Look into these matters yourself and ask your inner being what the truth is to you. Forget the dogma and the programming of the fallen and use your own discernment. That's what it's there for. And this is from Soul Ask. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.